Welcome back to the Burgundian Empire, the strongest and most beautiful nation upon Earth. And we will continue exactly where we left off the end of the last episode. And I must admit, when I loaded into the game, I was a bit confused at first because I read this as War of Belgian submission, and Belgium doesn't really exist. Belgium is part of our nation. It's kind of where we have our capital almost. Yeah, it should be in Belgium land or Flandern. But it is War of Belgian submission, since they had an unfortunate revolution at the end of last episode, and we need to rectify that. It was against the will of the people. The leaders went behind the people's back, and we will deliver the power back to the people, or more to the point, our minions, those who we have appointed in Berg to make sure that the country is doing what we want them to do, right? We can't let them be in any other... Most likely, I just don't want them to be in Bohemia sphere. So we're going to do everything we can to make sure that they don't. And I think Gran Colombia now decided to... Oh god. Yeah, the Gran Colombia has decided to dissolve themselves. A little bit at least. Castilla. Oh, that's different from Spain. So there's a different country called Castilla. And also notice that Lombardia has had a revolution and formed a republic instead, and now is called Transpadana, as well as Venice stopped being a merchant republic and started being a proper republic, and is now the San Marcos Republic, which I like that name. I like that name a lot, San Marco. Also, Scandinavia has stopped being allied with us. For some reason that keeps happening, though. They always want to be allied with us again. It's a really good alliance. We have many interests in common. We are both facing off against Bohemia, and we both faced off against the Dual Monarchy, especially them with the Scotland over here. They do have an interest in keeping the Dual Monarchy at bay, and so do we. And especially from our experience with the previous war, the Accidental War, we proved that we can really do a lot of great things. And seeing as we have the greatest military power on Earth at the moment, I think we should prepare ourselves for a war against the Dual Monarchy. And now with Transpadana and stuff like that, maybe it is time to increase our influence in northern Italy, maybe gain a few allies, and then we can wrest control of Savoy away from the Dual Monarchy and back into Burgundian hands. Well, at least to Burgundian hands to begin with. I think that is a valuable goal to be had, but first, before we do such a preemptive strike, because the Dual Monarchy is still very scary, they have a fairly big army, they have a really big navy, and overall just have a lot more population in Europe than we do. We need some sort of justification for a preemptive strike. Maybe we have found evidence that they are planning an attack on us. An evil attack without any provocation whatsoever, apart from our desire to attack them, that is. Or maybe we have found or fabricated evidence that they are developing some sort of weapons of mass destruction, stuff like that, to find a decent justification for going to war against them. So I think I will give our military staff 30 days to come up with the final solution to the Dual Monarchy problem, and the best way to really kick them down a peg or two, or maybe 15, and hopefully England can... Oh, Transpadana wants an alliance now. Wonderful. That's good. That will help us with our efforts to put them under our sphere. They hate everyone apart from us. They do have cordial with us. They also have cordial with Aragon. So Aragon will probably be our main opponent in this regard. We need to keep that in mind. Aragon would be a really great ally. I don't know why we're not allied with them. Insufficient relation. Maybe it... Oh, come on, Aragon. We wanted to be friends with you. What happened? What happened? I guess they see us as a rival here in Italy. They do have great interest in Italy, which is reasonable, considering their position. Bengal, we can increase our relation there. That is great. So we can be friendly with them. Who else has interest here? No one. Oh, the Dual Monarchy, of course. Evil Dual Monarchy. I just need to point out to everyone that the Dual Monarchy is indeed extremely evil, and you need to keep that in mind. Berg should really have fallen at this point, though they are really close to it. Really damn close to it. Congo, Scandinavia. That's gotta be in Africa, right? Yeah, it's Congo over here. Congo. They want to increase their holdings in Africa. That is fine by me. We have no conflict with them being in Congo. To be fair, it would probably be for the best for our nation that we took Congo, due to the rubber and stuff like that. But I don't really see our economy doing extremely poorly. And that's probably has to do with that it's based on Pop the Man mod. Unfortunately, the economic game, which at least in the beginnings of some country can be a bit challenging, at least in this playthrough, I don't see it being a challenge whatsoever. I don't even have taxes. It's 1847. I don't even have taxes on highest. I do have it on 50%. I haven't really changed it much. No tariffs. All the sliders to max, and the economy doing just brilliantly. I don't really have to do a thing. I could put everything on subsidies if I would so choose, but I don't really like having that. So maybe we should encourage our economy to grow a bit more. Our industry to catch up. Brabant, Holland, Wallonia and Bourgogne are the most important. Bourgogne is not even worth mentioning. Brabant and Holland and Wallonia. So basically, this region is the industrial powerhouse of our nation, which is completely fair. Berg is now finally back into our sphere. Maybe we should increase our opinion with them. I mean, if you put something under your sphere and you protect them, shouldn't your estimated yearly change of opinion be increased as a result, since you influence them over time? That seems like the most reasonable thing, but maybe not. Congo wants to be protected, I guess, from Scandinavia, but no. We appreciate the prestige, Congo, but we won't go to your aid. Scandinavia is far too valuable for us to do anything like that. Let's see here. We have a bit too many that we put under our sphere. We need to lower it. Frankfurt am Main wants to have an alliance. That is perfectly fine. No one is meddling in our spheres. The only thing is that Transpadana, which we are meddling with them, so I guess that's fair. I think since we're doing the whole thing with Bengal, I don't think we will focus on Transpadana. I want to have India safely and done. We have the Mughal Empire to contend with. If we can get Bengal on our side, maybe get an alliance with Bengal, that would give us a very strong point from the east that can attack into the Mughal Empire here in Bihar and maybe Orissa, while we take on Malwa and central India, maybe Nagpur as well. Considering we have Vijayanagar and Hyderabad, that should be fairly strong. I hope so anyway. Apparently Hessen-Nassau. They are meddling in Lippe-Detmold and Hessen-Nassau. Nassau. This makes me think of the Caribbean. Every time I watch the series called Black Sails, and they mention Nassau, I just think of Germany. Which I guess is where the name came from to begin with. I think it's maybe the name of a royal house or something like that, and then it was named in like the Bahamas. The Nassau, is it here? No. Oh, of course, since Venice has taken it. But I think maybe the town is called Nassau if you're playing like vanilla or something like that. I think it will be called that. Clergyman is increasing nicely enough. I am really considering, or I really want to get further down on this one. Oh, the Mughal Empire is done now, our justification. So we should probably be heading into the war with them. So, who of our allies would accept? Turkey will not accept. Transpadana will accept. Is there anyone else that won't accept? No, everyone will accept. That is beautiful. So what territory should we take? Territory. Well, we do have, I guess, Malwa, since it's a big territory that would connect up also with this area. Then we also have Jubalpur. Oh, Central India, I mean. Central India. Malwa, Central India, and then we could maybe get Nagpur, the remaining part of it, but that's not really cost effective. Maybe Allahabad or Orissa. Orissa is a really big region, I must admit. So yeah, maybe these two. These two to begin with, and then see what happens. So we will declare war for the demand of taking Malwa. Malwa is fairly big, Malwa is fairly strong. It has 4 provinces, there's a lot of people in it. And I think we will call in allies individually. Hyderabad. Call ally. There we go. We get 1 ally now. And Vijayanagar. We will call in... Can we fix an alliance with Bengal? It's probably insufficient relations. Yeah, we will fix some relations with Bengal and then we can call them in. Our army seems to be fairly prepared for such an occasion. You know that in India the wars are not the easiest, and our armies have proven to be a bit unreliable at times. I don't want to have Scandinavian interference. I don't want them to make a claim, for example, that they demand Orissa and manages to peace out with that before we do anything. Call me... call me, what's it called? Paranoid, but the AI can be a bit treacherous at times. I don't want to make any mistakes. More than I already do. So, Mr. Philip Colette, take Dar. There's 21,000 men over there. They have no leader. It should be fairly easy. Jubalpur. Maybe we could go together here. Oh shit, that's a big army. Maybe we should head over to Nagpur instead. I think we will need to have some more men over there. Their military tech shouldn't be very strong. 2 military tech, and our military tech is actually easy to look here. 9. And we're getting breech-loaded rifles. Maybe we should have waited for breech-loaded rifles before going into a war like this. Maybe we should send some reinforcements from Europe. It's a lot of things that should take place, maybe will take place. We'll see. But here is... Maybe we should go for the offensive. Go for the offensive against the Mughal Empire. 28. I do wish one thing. One thing that I do wish is when you have armies from different regions and you decide to, at the same time, go to a province. I wish they would line up and that one army would wait so they arrive at the same time, because that's, most of the time at least, that's what you intend them to. What you intend them to do. Like, you're selecting these armies so they will arrive there at the same time, otherwise you could just select them individually and do that. Or maybe just have a button that will say, will arrive at the same time. Or something like that. So one army will wait up, and the other ones can go at full speed, and then they just arrive at the same time, for the benefit of everyone. Their losses are surprisingly... when I say that, their losses shot up. 2,000 men each tick. That's decent enough. Not too decent though, considering the amounts of men they have. That's unfortunately little. It seems that Vijayanagar is doing its job well. I am proud of them. I'm really happy to have them on our side. That's unfortunate amounts of losses from our side. That's not really sustainable. That's a really big army as well that they have. Come on men, fight better! What the hell? Are you men or are you, I don't know, mice? Yeah, okay, that's a bit better, but not good enough. We can't have 1,000 men lost every single day. That's not sustainable at all. I will pull back our army. Come on, pull back. They lost only a tiny bit more than we did. But holy shit, that was bad. What happened to... Did we lose an army over there? That would be quite some bullshit. I think we did lose an army. Yep, we did. One army was completely destroyed, somehow. Somehow completely destroyed. They have no allies, from what I can tell. They are still fairly strong, however. They have really big armies, and I need some assistance. Maybe I should call upon some more men. Maybe there's some more men to be had over here in Sumatra. I doubt it. Maybe some more men over here that we could be had. No. How about in our new territory of Madras? There is some more men to be had over here. And this thing that I won't pronounce because I failed before and I don't know how to do it. It's not Anglo-y, I know that much. Nowadays, at least I know that much. That should be about 5, and we have 1, 2, 3, and light cavalry. So at least we have one more army on the way. Probably the one that was completely smashed down before, but still one more army than we had previously. We are winning though, so maybe we should go for an easy victory and demand just Malva. Or maybe with the additional help from Vijayanagar and everyone else, we could maybe make a demand of taking also Central India. Yeah, Central India as well. We will get Jubalpur, Chhatarpur and Rewa. A lot of tea and spices and dye. Actually, cotton, tea and dye. And here we already have some dye, cotton, dye and cotton. So a lot of things for our textile industry. That should be really good. Maybe we should make that demand, but I am uncertain about the future. Considering the huge amounts of men that they have managed to amass, I am a bit uncertain with the future, especially after losing that army, which was really, really bad. It's an unfortunate situation. We will try to focus on getting here and getting this place. This army just needs to rest though. It needs to have a month or so to recover, increase their organization, make sure they're not in any vulnerable position. Meanwhile, they are just all over the place. We could go for a peace, and they would accept it. They would accept a peace offer. But would it be enough for us? Would just having Malva be enough for us? I think it would actually. Considering that the campaign was fairly ill prepared, I will admit that much. Didn't really do a great job of preparing in advance and underestimated the power of the Mughal Empire, definitely. They have almost as much population as we do in their limited territory, because India is incredibly densely populated. And maybe in the future getting Bengal on our side, like we can get them in our sphere right now. So we have that. So in the next war we could have Bengal as well, with the older men. And they have 89 brigades at the moment. They can probably summon much more than that in a future war. And we can get back our armies, maybe get some new armies from Malva, since it has quite a bit of population. We could put on under Palembang and maybe something more under our land. Makassar, for example, would be really nice to have. And just spread around a little bit. So I think we will go for that peace offer. Maybe we can try to demand, for example, Central India. Central India would be 10 war score, that would be 27. We are currently at 20, and this demand is, what? Is 13. So we will have 23%. I think, okay, maybe we will wait a little bit. We'll let them have a month to recover. We will also try to get Bengal on our side. If you see here, Bengal has a massive army just waiting to jump into the fray. So when will this actually get away? That's 10 days away. We will save Nagpur instead. Whereas our allies over here, they have gone behind the enemy's lines. How many men do they even... That's a lot. It's almost 400,000 men. That would explain some of our issues. At least now we will get some reinforcements and we can wipe out the Hyderabad occupation force. This is a good ratio, but still, even with that ratio, we need to have better odds at us. And now we are losing these occupations, which is really, really bad. Okay, we have that at least. We will need better relations with them. We will try to improve our relations with them, and then they should be able to join us into the war. Maybe. That is our hope anyway. At least knock these out. Get them away. And then maybe try to focus on... Oh no, maybe not. At least they gave up now, so... Siege reset, if nothing else. Call ally, they will not accept. Call on our part. How can we call ally if they're not our ally? Increase opinion a bit more. will be about 2 more times, and then we should be in the green. After recovering a little bit, this army is doing better. Not great though, by any means, but better. This army is doing really well. I don't know, maybe it's the leader. I could not be the leader. The leader is pretty terrible. And these have at least decent leaders. Well, they are paring away their attacks, so that's something. Wait, have we added anything? Vijayanagar has added a demand. Maybe we should add that demand. I mean, it's only 7.5 infamy, and we lose infamy incredibly fast, so it's not like we lose too much on it. There we go, now we have 90, so it will be one more and then we can ask them to ally us. Unfortunately, we will run out of diplomatic points before that. So maybe we can get a few more diplomatic points. That would be really nice. So you maybe head back to Nagpur and protect that. Just make sure that their organization doesn't falter too much. You should be fine. Hyderabad will be protected by the Burgundian colonial forces. Form alliance. Come on, my friend. We now have 2 diplomatic points. We have a diplomat en route. Will be here now. They won't accept. Insufficient relations. Oh right, we need that one more. Crap. Right, I forgot. Already, I forgot. It's quite impressive. Well, we managed to wipe out 1 army of theirs. It's not too many men overall, but that's progress, right? Also shows you should not give up too easily. It's not worth it to give up easily. We have 12,000 men of the new army ready, so maybe they will be able to jump in before the end of the war. Maybe. Demand Valva, demand Central India. Oh, they would agree to that demand now. Interesting. That is interesting. I think we will continue this war for as much as we can demand from them, maybe the rest of Orissa as well. I do wish there was some sort of scalability to this. For example, I will maybe. Oh, it's Bengal, right? I will see if I can show my point here. One thing I don't like is, for example, if we wanted to complete Nagpur, that would cost as much for us as demanding all of, for example, Bihar in terms of infamy. I wish there was some scalability to that. I don't know if a mod can add that or anything like that. Like, add depending on how many provinces they have in the state that you demand. So if it's even just 1 province in the entire state, so it's a state of only 1 province, then it will cost a max. But if it's 3 provinces in a state and you have 2 out of those 3, then it will only cost a third. Maybe something like that, the percentage of how much of the state you already control. Maybe they will have that in Victoria free if they ever decide to make it. Please let them decide to make that. They will not accept that because of reasons. Infamy, most probably. Yep. Maybe increase relations, we cannot do that, we need more diplomatic points. Crap. So they don't like us enough, is what I'm gathering. So we can't count on their support, but at least we are doing fairly well against the enemy's armies. So maybe the enemy just doesn't have the manpower to continue this. Their army does seem to have dwindled a lot. I don't know if it's from battles or maybe simply that they can't pay the troops. Maybe they can't get the materials for them, so their efficiency has decreased. So a lot of potential reasons. Yeah, I think Mughal Orissa will be another demand of ours. There we go. That should do it. And maybe if we can get Bihar, that would be incredibly wonderful. Incredibly wonderful. And then we could finally become a bit more like Britain was in India when you start vanilla Victoria 2. That they have certain parts of India and the rest is under other control. Cispadina? Padana, I mean. Wait, have to change name again? Or is it another one? Cispadana. Wait a minute. Where are you? Oh, over here. So Ferrara has changed name, or Romagna, whatever, has changed name to Cispadana, and now we have Transpadana over there. Alright, we will have an alliance with both of the Padanas. I think that it was some sort of secession movement that wants Padania or something like that to become free. Basically the Po River Valley and the surrounding areas. Maybe that's where it comes from. Maybe. They are willing to go for Mughal Orissa as well. It does seem that they are close to giving up. I used to wish we had more diplomatic points to make more demands of them. Alright, we will demand also, and keeping in mind that our infamy is getting quite high at this point, we will demand Bihar, because we want to dismantle the Mughal Empire, but not in the traditional sense. We want to dismantle it by incorporating the territory into our land, which seems more efficient. And I guess they are less likely now to accept alliance due to increased infamy. It would be the worst if the whole lack of international code disappears now. But I doubt that would happen. I also find it funny how little of the territory that we have actually occupied ourselves. Most of it is via Nagar and Hyderabad, but actually not a single one of their enemy provinces is controlled by us. All of it is controlled by the AI or occupied by the AI. So those two have been great help. They are demanding Bihar, humiliate Mughal Empire, demand Malwa, demand everything. We will accept that. There's no real reason to continue the war further than that. And now we have gained a huge part of the Mughal Empire to be part of our empire. So I will call that a massive victory against the enemy. Just a massive victory. We will try to position our armies strategically across the place. And I assume that there's quite a lot of enemies that, or soldiers that we can recruit now. Yeah, all of them are being dismantled now. It does seem that all the recruitable units are coming from one single place, though. It really does. I think that is on purpose. On every single one of these. Alright, let's just make a few more armies that we can deal with. That will be 6 of them. And then 4 and a single light cavalry. That's what's done over here. This is only 6 units, so we will have all of them infantry. Did I do something wrong there? No, I didn't. Right, 6 infantry and here 4 mobile and 1 light cavalry. So that's at least 2 more armies that is underway, plus the 1 army that we are recovering over here in Madras. And suddenly India is looking very bright for us. We have conquered most of it, and that should put us quite a bit ahead. Though now we have forgotten our sacred duty of putting the dual monarchy down. So I think the plan and the attack and what to do about them, scheming, will be put on hold until the next episode. And that's when I will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have a good one.